Hi everyone, welcome on this episode on the SAP BTP Services Catalog as part of the SAP Discovery Center. So we already had an introduction, we looked at the missions, we looked at the reference architectures, and now we're having a look at the SAP BTP Services Catalog. So if you're not logged on, then this will be your screen, and you have here the Service Catalog and also Service Estimator functionality. If you're logged in, it will look like this, and you have here your Service Catalog. So let's have a look. So here you can see all the services that are available on BTP. You do also see things like retiring soon and so on. So you see some additional details or things like always free. You can filter on the top. So you have commercial models, you have provider regions. And on the left side, you have things like category solutions and capabilities. So if I know what I'm looking for, I usually use the search. So let's have a look at transporting inside of BTP, and then I can see the Cloud Transport Management service, for example, and I want to have a look at this and get into more detail on this service. So if I just open this up, then I have an overview. So you have an explanation of what the service can do. You have some reference screenshots, and then on the right side you have a bunch of sources from SAP. So here really useful is also this resources card, where you can see things like the help documentation and the initial setup. So I use this often in terms of setting things up and going to the setup documentation. I would use this path and go in here in terms of the initial setup. You also have here a pricing tab. So there you can see, depending on the commercial model, and now the default model that is selected here is the BTP Enterprise Agreement, which is the most common model. So this means that a customer buys a license for BTP and it buys a bucket of credits, and then from this bucket credits get deducted, so amounts get deducted from the total amount that the customer has in the contract, and that's the most common one. You do also still have other ones where you can see what it would mean for them, and also you can here look at a trial account, what is available and what kind of settings or what kind of restrictions you have in terms of using a trial account. So also for trial accounts, it's useful to have a look at this information, and then you would go here into the trial commercial model to have a look at what is available there. So if we look here now, then we see two different plans. You have a standard plan, so this is really using it in a company with the intention of setting it live and using it in a live environment. And then you have a free model here, which is a restricted mode, which only has community support also, but is more for learning, tinkering, doing a proof of concept, understanding how it works and so on. And it also has technical restrictions. And often, not always, but often those free tier or trial tier services also have reduced performance because it's not a real productive use case. You're not paying for it. So it creates a cost for SAP. So then it's logical that they do this in a way that it's not too expensive for them, because it's actually losing money for them. But of course, it's great for community and for learning and doing all kind of things in terms of learning and tinkering with the services on BTP. So if we look here at the standard model, for example, then you can see here some quantity limitations and storage capacities and so on. And then you can also see the price in terms of the bandwidth for which you will have to pay and what the billing block size is, and also what the unit price per month is. And there you also have a button here to add this to an estimator. So I can click here and I will see it added to my local estimation. If I go back to the home page when I'm logged in, so here I'm logged in, I can click here on the Discovery Center, and then I have here my card of my service estimations, where I have this local estimate that I already created. Another way to get to a service estimator can be down here, but it's not the same thing. So then you have this option as a separate option. You also have this for AI, but we'll get back to that later on. And you have your what is called Control Center, where you can see your missions and where you can also see your estimates. So I can also jump through the Control Center into my local estimate over here. And then I can see what I already did before. And so it's just adding to the one that I already had. So I'll just delete these ones. And then here you can see you would have to choose your region and provider. And then you can say, okay, I'm going to use, if it's 1 gigabyte, it will cost me €18 a month. And then depending on how much you use, it will the cost will increase. And so you can, of course, if you say 2, it's just factor 2. There is no buckets. So sometimes you have buckets of if you're using a lot, then the price drops and so on. But you can see this in other services. So let's go back to the homepage. I think I explained most of the features already. So we have this for all the different services. So let's say if I say now I want to look at advanced event mesh, I will have a similar overview. So in this case, I even have a video that explains me more information. I have the same kind of resources here. You can also have things like tutorials and learning in terms of how you can actually use and consume the service. And then, as mentioned, you have the pricing tab, and then also related missions. So all the missions where this service is included or where it's related to the mission. And then also reference architecture. So everything ties back into the other categories. And then also a roadmap in terms of what the plans are from SAP in terms of the future for this certain service, which can also, of course, be interesting to have a look at if you think something is missing or you want to know what is coming in the future. And then this is also very handy. So just now, kind of a wrap up of the service catalog. So definitely useful. I use it a lot. So not only to see what is new, because you can also filter on the new services, but also getting to the official documentation of SAP and also checking relevant information like roadmap information and so on. It's quite handy. And you could say that the Discovery Center is a bit of a one-stop shop in terms of getting a lot of information around the different services that are running on top of BTP. Thanks for watching and see you in the next episode.